Hello everyone, it is Maddie. Welcome to my channel. I am so excited because today we are going to be speaking about the long-awaited return of the Neighbourhood. So as a little recap, the Neighbourhood is an American alternative rock band that was formed in Newbury Park, California in 2011. They did not find newfound success until their smash hit Sweater Weather that was released in 2013, as well as their first debut album titled I Love You that came out in 2013 as well. So I have been a huge fan of the Neighbourhood ever since that debut of Sweater Weather. They were playing it all over the radio, at least in my area. I know it was a really big song and I kind of fell in love with them, especially at that time. That's when I was listening to like the 1975, the Neighbourhood, all the Tumblr bands and musicians and things like that. And this is also right around the same time that I became a huge Five Sauce fan. So this is kind of my alternative rock phase back in high school. I would say I didn't really start getting into them until 2014 or so, maybe a little bit later. I don't think it was 2013 because I know 2014 was like the year that I started becoming obsessed with Tumblr and these bands and things like that. So anyways, neither here nor there. I have loved the Neighbourhood for so long, and I also did see them in concert back then. I believe it was 2015 I saw them in concert. I'd have to look again. There was a phase in my life also where there was a concert. I was going to at least one concert every month for a whole year, and I believe that might have been 2015. So I have been following the Neighbourhood pretty much, since 2014 or so, since their debut. I Love You, that album, and I also absolutely love Wiped Out. That's still one of my favorite albums to this day, and I remember buying it on Apple Music when I got an Apple Music gift card for Christmas back in, again, like 2015. So I've been a big fan ever since. I have seen them in concert. My brother was also a fan, and I did go to that concert with my brother, so it's kind of another special one to me. So they have not released an album since 2020 with Chip Chrome and the Monotones back in 2020. So it's literally been 5 years since they have released an album. So when I saw that they were, kind of coming back together, they were done with their hiatus and they are releasing an album, I got so excited. They also released a deluxe version of Wiped Out for its 10th anniversary because that also came out in October of 2025. So y'all, when I saw that they were releasing a deluxe version of that album, I was so excited because, like I said, that is probably my favorite album by them. I was absolutely in love with it. R.I.P. to My Youth, Pray, Single, Ferrari, Daddy Issues, that is just such a good album. And they did release 4 new songs with the release of this deluxe version of Wiped Out, along with memos, like voice kind of memos of all the different songs. And also there was a remix on there with Sid for Daddy Issues. So that one was a little bit different too. So they released some good bangers with the release of the deluxe 10th anniversary of Wiped Out. So I wanted to discuss some of those songs with you because I am honestly, I really like these songs that they released, and I feel like they really did keep with the theme of Wiped Out. It kind of has that same tone and sound to it. So the 4 songs that they did release was Leather Weather, which is clearly a pun of Sweater Weather, Maniac, Cinnamon, and Pressure. So those are the 4 songs that I am counting. Like I did mention, Daddy Issues was released with Sid, and that's kind of a remix. That's a little bit different. I do like that one as well, but I think I do like the Daddy's Issue original version more. But the 4 unreleased songs that I want to discuss are those 4. So the first one I listened to actually was Leather Weather because, again, I love Sweater Weather, and I was like, what are they doing here? What are they doing? Are they pulling a G-Eazy, where G-Eazy was kind of re-releasing some of his most popular songs and just kind of tweaking them a little bit? But this one was a completely new song where he was just trying to, it sounds like they were just trying to keep the same vibe and the sound to it while, completely kind of making a new song, essentially. So I do not like this one as much as I thought I was going to, especially with the nostalgia of Sweater Weather. I think that the lyrics aren't as good, to be honest. There's a little bit of some cringe in there, put on my jacket. I like the sound and the vibe and the tone to it, like I've mentioned, but the lyrics, I watched the lyric video first, so some of the lyrics were just like a little bit cringe to me. But again, I do still like it, and I am still going to, continue to listen to it. So I would probably, out of the 4 new songs, I would honestly probably put that in the 3rd position. Now, moving on to the next one, which is Maniac. Maniac was not my favorite either. Honestly, during this first listen of these 4, that was the one that I was like kind of zoning out on. I feel like I wasn't super tuned in, to be honest. Again, I still do like the vibe of it. It didn't reel me in as much as the other ones. So I honestly would probably put Maniac in number 4. Like, I'm not a man, I'm a maniac. Like, kind of just not really my jam. So again, that would probably go in the 4th position, the last position for these 4 new releases. Then there is Cinnamon. And Cinnamon is my favorite of these 4. I absolutely love Cinnamon. I love the vibe of it. It reminds me of, again, like daddy issues, RIP to my youth, when he's speaking of his family and his upbringing, about his sister being an angel and he was just a baby. Sorry, I'm hearing it in my brain as I think about it. I just love the vibe of this one. Again, this one brings me back to Wiped Out more than all of the other ones. I think Leather Weather is more, an I love you song, especially because it's a play on Sweater Weather. Maniac is kind of just in there. I feel like that might be like a Chip Chrome song. Honestly, I don't know. It's not really my vibe. And then Cinnamon just fits the vibe of Wiped Out so much to me. And I just love the lyrics on this one. I love the sound, and I love the message behind it. I think that he does really well when he does speak about his family and, his childhood and things like that. I think that's when the emotions really come out, and it fits with the more melancholy, slow tones of the instrumentals. So with that being said, I'm definitely putting Cinnamon in the 1st position. That is the one I've been listening to the absolute most out of these 4. I keep replaying it, so Cinnamon is going to go in the 1st position out of the 4 new songs. Now, Pressure. I absolutely love this instrumental. This is an interlude, I would say, because this instrumental reminds me the most of the mixtape that they released. Again, if you do not know, I absolutely love Black and White that they released back in, was it 2014? Yes, 2014. I love that mixtape, the first mixtape that a band released, but it did have a lot of different like hip hop and pop elements to it. I am born in California. I'm born and raised in California. I am a Californian at heart. And when I tell you that the Neighborhood like hits the California vibes for me, like pretty much no other. Him and G-Eazy. I'm mentioning G-Eazy again, but they do have a song together, so that's fine. They just like represent like California vibes so much to me. It's so hard to describe, but I would say the Neighborhood is more like SoCal, like really gives me the SoCal vibes. And I would say like G-Eazy, for example, I'm talking G-Eazy's like early stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like these things happen. That hits more of like the NorCal vibes to me. So as a Californian myself, I absolutely just love the mixtape, and I love Wiped Out as well. So what I was saying is that Pressure reminds me of the mixtape because it is just an interlude. It's a really long interview, but it reminds me of maybe like Unfair's kind of interlude in there, or even just Silver, things like that, because they had quite a few just instrumentals and kind of interludes here and there in the mixtape. I had to let my pup out, so sorry for the potential angle change here, but essentially what I was saying was that Pressure reminds me the most of the mixtape and the interludes and the instrumentals that were on that mixtape. And then I would say Leather Weather is I Love You, just because of the play on Sweater Weather. Cinnamon is definitely Wiped Out, the most Wiped Out feel to me. And then Maniac could be either on their self-titled or Chip Chrome. Maybe like Chip Chrome, though, is what my first instinct was. So that is my thoughts on the new songs that were released with the 10th anniversary edition of Wiped Out, which came out in October of 2015. So first off, I'm so excited to see that they are back together and that they have quite a few things that they kind of dropped on us all at once when we didn't have anything for 5 years. So again, I'm glad that they are celebrating the anniversary of Wiped Out because that is an iconic album. Absolutely love it. And that they went ahead and released quite a bit with this new release. Also, the vinyl variants are pretty iconic. I'm not gonna lie. I saw that the marbled one is already sold out, which is actually tragic for me. So they only have the standard black pressings left, but they don't ship out until January 30th of 2026. So I'm like, that's a long time, y'all, for me to wait on this pre-order. So I think I'm gonna wait a little bit. I think I am, especially because I can't even get like the special limited edition marbled pressing, so I don't know. I think the black pressings will still be around for a little while, so I might wait, or I might like ask for it for Christmas or something. So I did see those. If y'all were looking as well, or if you were wondering, I did see those, but I did not purchase any yet. Okay, moving on to their new album that they are releasing on November 14th. You guys, I am being fed on November 14th. If you do not know already, my birthday is November 15th. Scorpio baby. And that is a Saturday this year, which I was already super excited about. But there is now 2 albums that are being released on November 14th, the date before my birthday, from 2 of my all-time favorite bands. If you ask anyone, as you can see, I literally have like my Neighborhood I Love You vinyl up back there. So ultraSOUND is being released on Friday, November 14th. And Everyone's a Star by 5 Seconds of Summer is also being released on Friday, November 14th. So I already was so excited for 5 Sauce. You can probably see I've made so many videos about 5 Seconds of Summer. If you are interested in that as well, please do check out those videos. But the fact that this album is also coming out on November 14th, I'm like, and like literally right next to my birthday, like, I'm like, nobody bother me on that weekend. We don't have much longer to wait either, which is super exciting. So on August 29th of this year, the official Instagram account of the Neighbourhood did post a story indicating their return to releasing new music, and they also announced that the drummer Brandon Fried would be returning to the band as well. So this was all happening on August 29th of this year, but nothing was confirmed in that an album title and things were not released yet. But then on October 23rd of this year, so just a little bit ago, the band released 3 songs from their new upcoming album, ultraSOUND, which is coming out November 14th. So they released 3 songs all at once on October 23rd for this album, which I feel like is not very common. When I'm just comparing them to 5 Sauce, they released them stagnantly. So they released Not Okay in September, and then they released Telephone Busy and Boy Band both in October, but kind of spaced out. So they released 3 songs all on the same day. So they were feeding us on October 23rd, and these 3 songs are OMG, Love Bomb, and Private. And all 3 of these songs will be on that new album, their 5th studio album that is being released on November 14th. So of course, I had to go and listen to these 3 songs, and I wanted to give you my thoughts and everything like that because these songs have been out for a little while now. My honest thoughts were, drumroll, I was a little underwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like they are going maybe in a more like techno, electronic route, if you get what I'm putting down. Like, it was definitely not giving me Wiped Out or I Love You vibes, even like self-titled, not so much. Again, I feel like it was kind of giving the more like chip chrome vibe to it, which is more, you could tell it's a little more upbeat. The instrumentals are a little more like electro, techno, not crazy, like not super electronic, but you could just tell they're a little more upbeat. And I don't know, like kind of not like my vibe when I go to the Neighbourhood. I do like that more like dreamy state of their music, and I just kind of was not getting that vibe from these 3 songs. I will say that my favorite out of the 3 is Private. That is the one that I've gone back to mostly. OMG and Love Bomb just aren't my vibe. Like I said, I was a little bit disappointed. I would say I probably like OMG more than Love Bomb, but Private is definitely the standout to me, and that one is my favorite. But I can see with even just the album art on the cover and just the title to ultraSOUND, like I feel like they're kind of going in a more, maybe even 80s as well. I feel like that's kind of the thing, or like new wave kind of vibe, fashion. I don't know. These are just my thoughts. Maybe they'll grow on me more. I've only listened to them a few times. Like I said, I keep going back to Private, so I know I do really like Private, but the other 2, I'm just like, I've found myself gravitating more towards the Wiped Out new songs that were released for the 10th anniversary. So I'm still super excited. I have to give it some time, I think, because this is a new just like vibe and tone than what I am used to from the Neighbourhood or what I typically love from the Neighbourhood. So we will see. I will definitely, update you. I do want to listen to the whole album once it comes out on November 14th. So I will be booked and busy listening to both albums on that day. But yeah, I was more excited, like I said, for the Wiped Out songs. You can tell I even just spoke more about them, I feel like, in this video, but I do want to give the other songs a little more time. I want to sit with them and I want to hear the whole cohesive album and the project all together as one, and maybe I will come up with, you know, some other thoughts and opinions once I hear it as a cohesive project, and once I, you know, start really feeling the aesthetic of this new release. So that are my thoughts on the new songs that they have released with this comeback. The band is back together and the hiatus is over. So those are my thoughts right now. I'm not gonna lie, I just also don't love the aesthetic so far of this album. Like, the cover looks a little AI generated. Not my dog barking in the background right when I said that. Also, just like the parentheses and like how they stylized the title of it just doesn't really give me like the Neighbourhood vibes. I don't know. Maybe that's also kind of swaying of my thoughts here, but I'm gonna just like show you on my iPad too, like not me over here on Reddit looking at it, but like clearly I understand that that's supposed to be like a speaker, you know, but that definitely looks like super fake and like AI generated. So maybe like it's a 3D model, but again, I feel like I'm being judgy. But again, I really need to wait until the album comes out and see what other like vibes and aesthetics that they do have around this album. But we have gotten some more clues because they also announced a world tour, which I was super excited about too, because I'm like, oh my gosh, are they coming to my city? I would actually die, because I pretty much know for a fact they have not come to my city. I have never seen them come to my city. But when I did see them, it was in the Bay Area at Fox Theater in Oakland. So I did have to travel quite a bit to go to that concert back in the day with my brother, but unfortunately they are not coming to my city. So I am a little sad. So again, I am deciding if I am going to go to this tour, because I did just spend a pretty penny on the 5 Seconds of Summer tour, but they are coming to my city. Again, I just made a video on that if you have not watched it yet. Also, I got Cardi B tickets because she's coming to my city, and those were, you know, pretty inexpensive, honestly, for what they were. So that's okay. It's more like I did spend a good amount of money on my VIP 5 Sauce tickets that I literally just got like last week. So right now I am not planning on going, because it's also general admission from what I'm seeing. And again, I'm just kind of tired of like standing, like it's just not really my vibe anymore, and being packed in, and I get fainting spells and I have to go to the bathroom and things like that, and then you lose your spot that you know waited in line for and things like that. So right now I'm not planning on going or purchasing the tickets. They do go on sale on the 7th, so that doesn't give me much time either to like, you know, save up or anything. So I'm not planning on it now, but if you guys are planning on going to any of their tour dates, please let me know down below. I would love to hear if they are going to a city near you. Also, let me know your thoughts down below on their 10th anniversary release of Wiped Out, the new songs that they released with it, and also your thoughts on this upcoming 5th studio album by them, ultraSOUND. I'm curious to hear what you guys think so far. So that is it for me for this video. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, your week, your month, and your year. Okay, take care and goodbye.